This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today we're here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novello for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about Wolf Creek?
Well, it's a mesmerizing layout. You can see from above, Rich, in amongst all these sort of canyon areas and boulders and that. I've never really seen a golf course like this. It's like Disneyland for the golfers. It's phenomenal, and each hole has a totally different look. It's hard to imagine you can build a golf course in an area like this.
Here at the first and ready to get this round underway. How do you handle the 597 yards from the back tee here on the par 5, Frank?
The elevated tee, Rich, tee it high and let it fly. Get it down there far enough so you can reach this par 5 and 2. There is a little bit of water down the right-hand side. Really, that shouldn't come into play unless you're got into a spot of bother off the tee. But a good drive down there. Hopefully avoid those 11 bunkers that surround this hole. And it's easy to see where the green is because it's right underneath that rock crop behind it.
Frank, what does the shot into this first green look like?
Well, it's back a little bit up the hill. Bunkers left and right, really the biggest concern. But a well-flighted shot to this three-level green will be well rewarded.
Well, couldn't have done much better than that, and the eagle is looking very likely now. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. So 2 under early on. Here at the par 4, 445-yard second hole. Severe dogleg to the left. What's the best play here, Frank?
That tee shot, Rich, is so intimidating, so you don't necessarily have to hit driver. Club decision is probably going to be important here because if you hit driver, you've got to take it down over that left side all over the canyon area. So if you hit 3-wood, you can play a slightly more conservative tee shot, but it is going to leave you a longer second shot to a green that's well protected on the right side by bunkers. But really, if the wind's not blowing, this is a really good, fun hole to play. Look at the vistas.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. So on the putting surface and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. All right, Frank, describe the third hole.
Well, it's a par 3 with a bit of a tabletop green, Rich. Some bunkers right and left of that, but also it's going to play a little bit further. This tee shot is uphill, unlike the opening 2 holes. So a 3 here, and that certainly won't hurt the scorecard. This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
Might want to check the GPS on a putt this long. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. It's a -2 early in the round. 383-yard fourth hole. Certainly not long, Frank, but there's plenty of trouble out there.
Yeah, this is very much a positional hole. This is not sort of tee it up with a driver and just rip it down there. Just find the fairway. You're going to have virtually just a short wedge, 9-iron really at the most into this green. And really, this is a good chance for a birdie. So 2 good shots, and you shouldn't be too far away.
Interesting, with the almost space-age advancements in golf equipment, what with new, lighter materials, and with the increased focus on fitness and strength, players are hitting the ball longer than ever. That has forced architects to lengthen the golf courses without sacrificing the integrity or the shot value of the original design. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
He can really get red hot with a putter. Let's see what McIlroy does. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
So just a formality here. Did the job right there. We're in the desert, partner. I need water.
You're going to get it here, Rich. Par 5 second hole's got a nice stream that runs down the left side, as well as cutting the fairway. There's a crop of some 3 bunkers down that right side. I want to avoid that, but, Rich, this hole isn't too long. Under 500 yards, not even going to play that long, so very reachable. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
And it looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through. Frank, what's it going to take here on this approach at the par 5?
Well, some people might actually try and bounce it in between those 2 bunkers and run the ball up on the green. But personally, I'd try and actually take a hybrid or something with a little bit more loft and try and fly the ball. Take those 2 bunkers out of play.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot.
It's at sneaky distance. Oh, another one goes in.
Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole, it also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot played just a fraction uphill. And this green, well, it's got more humps than hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Just 5 feet left. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now on to the par 4 7th hole. Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and it's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth tee shot, and that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up, just past those those bunkers on the right and the left. Get it down there on the flat. A little pitch, you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and that's going to make that second shot that much harder. Well, that was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Frank, this actually isn't the most difficult shot, is it, for a high-level player?
You got a clean lie, it's firm underneath. The biggest thing, though, really, you don't want to hit the path first. Clean strike, though. This is almost like hitting off the fairway.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. And getting ready for the putt. Dropping like dominoes out here. 6 under par. Another birdie. Frank, this is the kind of hole you like to drop a bag of balls and just have fun. Hit it all day long as if you were at the range. Unfortunately, you only get one crack, and you better be good. This is a tough hole.
Well, if you find the water, actually, you might get another one up there. It certainly is a tough hole, though, Rich. The stream going all the way down the left-hand side, and that wraps right around the left and behind the screen, makes that tee shot... well, it certainly makes you think about that tee shot while you're on the tee. Prudent play, aim for the right edge of the green. There's nothing wrong if you just miss the green on the right, but miss the green by a yard on the left, you pay a very steep price.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing. Not a problem there, Rich.
Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. Well, you can see it there. Feels very good about what he's doing. That's a nice par putt. Stays at 6 under. Stepping up to the shot here at the 9th. It's a par 4, 390 yards.
It is anything other than straight off the tee because of all these sort of undulations and curvature on the fairway. You'd think well bunkered, but the last bunker on the right side there, longer hitters, they can nearly fly that, just over 300 yards. Either that, shorter hitter, just play to that fat area of the green. That'll be sort of some, 270 yards. That will take all the water out of play into a green that slopes back at you. So very good chance, even with a wedge in hand, to get the ball close. A good way to finish the front 9.
Good-looking shot right here. That is classy.
A chance of going in.
So a tester from 4 feet. Has a hat trick and looking for more. 3 birdies now on the deck. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back 9. Frank, when you look at great rivalries in sports, you realize that athletes need each other. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to achieve greatness, to achieve legendary status. And in golf, Tom Watson needed Jack Nicklaus to push him to another level.
And also to define an era. Without one, we couldn't think of the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s. You need those players to define that era. So you need competition. Competition is not without rivalry. It's no snack, though.
Wow, touch of a locksmith out there, making everything.
Yeah, and the result, yet another birdie, too. Totally in command.
We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh, my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. but it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself. Try not to look at the canyon and the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better. Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center. And he makes it for par. Now to the par 5, 12, pretty big hole with a really big green.
And a really good blue area to the left, called water there. That's to be avoided off this tee, that's for sure. A good drive that avoids all of that. And then the hole is certainly reachable, but as you can see, water creeps in again, back right on this hole. So just don't get too cavalier here. A 5 wouldn't be the worst score. I know you want better, but believe me, I've seen many as 6s and 7s racked up here at 12.
Wow, Frank, look at that one run out. Just blistered that tee shot.
Well, that has to be 325 if it's an inch.
Second from an excellent lie. Good swing, good shot yet again. Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Always like to get the double figures under par. 10 under already. 13th hole here at Wolf Creek, and Frank, anyone can say, oh, I'm going to take this one over the trees. But very few can stand up and say, I'm flying this baby clear over the mountains.
Yeah, if you take the direct route, obviously it's going to be much shorter than the 350 yards that it's measured as a dogleg right. So the direct line, well, I don't want to tell you the exact yardage because it might give you too much of a clue, but it might be worth taking. It's going to be a blind tee shot, though, and you're not quite sure on the outcome.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Excellent drive, Frank. Right where you want to be. The approach here at 14, what do you like, Frank?
Well, it's a dogleg right to left, and the green is also shaped that way, Rich, so it suits a draw off the tee, and it's going to suit a draw coming in. And that draw you're going to get by virtue of the fairway that slopes from right to left, which encourages that shape of shot. And you should be able to use the natural contours of this green. You work it out, you're going to be rewarded.
Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. This is an 11-foot putt. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
On the green, and a chance for birdie.
Second shot.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye here. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green. Even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there. And before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here. And it should sit up nicely for a birdie.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. This looks like it's going to find the target. Repetitive is often sounds boring. This is just shot after shot, and it's anything other than that. Spectacular.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Stacking birdies, that's how you put a score on the board. So 2 straight, headed in the right direction. So 2 holes left to play. Now the final par 5 on the course, 562 yards, the 17th.
The drive looks relatively straightforward. And I say that because there's a little creek down there that obviously you have to stay short of. But that's the fun part. They want to keep you back in an area where you go, can I hit the second shot across the stream, across the water, and still keep it on the green? And the answer is, I don't know.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. I like the looks of this one. And it makes the green in regulation. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Oh, he's going to love it. Great putt. Finishing hole here at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but you know, that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 170 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes. That was a good run right there. Almost went in.
At least he's seen the line as it went past the hole. So just replicate that on the way back.
Just a couple of feet. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Frank, solid effort today. What's your assessment?
Golf like that can certainly result in wins, that's for sure. But more importantly, the opportunity to get one.